Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
welcome to the Gold Sisters Network presents Think About It Thursday, where we choose a topic to talk about and have some girl chat. So feel free to comment in the comment section if you want to contribute to the conversation. I am going to try to man different pages that this is streaming on to make sure we include you in the conversation. My name is Taj Shaw. I am your business strategist productivity coach. I help business owners go from juggling multiple tasks to creating efficient processes to properly scale their business. So I am your girl, everything productivity and accountability and documentation, documenting those processes. And we have
Believe her when she say accountability. Okay. Okay, people. That's all I want to just add in. But I am Gail Sanders. I am the ace of real estate, your winning strategy to buying or selling real estate. And I'm looking forward to helping you one day create wealth and leave a legacy for your family. So if you're interested in real estate, give me a call.
There we go. So today we are going to talk about using your voice,
Yes,
effective
using your
communication,
voice.
using your voice.
Kosh, did you know you had a voice?
I did. I do. I but I used to limit my voices depending on the conversation or the environment. So there's some areas that I felt that I didn't have a voice in, and others I'm probably overly vocal.
I
Uh,
can understand that. I can see that actually. um, did you always know when you were a child growing up that you had a voice?
I did. And
Okay.
I'll tell you this, I was the only child. So mom has four kids. I'm the oldest. My grandmother, my stepdad's mom, my grandmother on that side, very, very strict structure. All right, like respect is this, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. She had a different type of structure. My granny on my mom's side, I mean, I won't say that she forced any type of structure, but I could tell her however I felt. And my stepdad was very strict structure too. They were really structured, very responsible type of, this is how you do things. You're the oldest. But one thing that I never got in trouble for because they taught me how to word it was to get a better understanding. So my granny used to say, are you calling me a liar? So for my other sibling, that's like
That's
fear, right?
funny.
Like I'm not calling her any a liar, even though they know she didn't say something or do something. Me, I would say, I'm not calling you a liar, Granny, but I didn't hear it that way. I heard you say blah blah blah. So I learned positioning at a very young age to save my tail from one being whooped because Granny didn't play. She had a ruler, a yardstick. She used to tear us up, or being standing on the corner. What about
That's good. So I grew up mostly feeling like I did not have a voice,
you?
and that
Mhm.
carried over into adulthood for me. And I still deal with it, believe it or not. I know that I know better now, but I still deal with it in certain situations. I feel like I can't say anything. Maybe it's not right for me to say anything, but what I'm understanding is there's a timing in everything, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Definitely. Definitely how you say it. I agree.
And in the past, when I finally got out of my parents' house, I used to just say anything. I didn't care who you were, how you do. I didn't care. I just did not care. But now I'm grown to use that power in a whole different light. But I still do struggle with not having a voice sometimes, or feeling like I don't have a voice. I know that I do, but I feel like sometimes I just don't know how to use it. So, and the other thing that I realize is even when I'm not saying anything, still using your voice.
Some eyebrows that I talk with a lot. That's true. Body language.
Even the silence. There was, early on in my marriage, I don't have this problem now, but early on in my marriage, when I got really angry with my husband, it was silent in this house. You wasn't getting no words out of me. No, I'm not even gonna look at you. I'm not talking to you. Don't call me. Don't say nothing to me early on in my marriage. But I know better now. But that was still a form of communication.
Yeah. I think it's important to know that learning how to express yourself will help you maximize on opportunities. Probably maximize on opportunities. I don't think I can say it any other way. I say that by meaning or referring to is that there's a time for silence, and there's a time for you to voice your opinion. There's a time to show passion. And I think that if the intent is understood, you could probably do it freely in most audiences, with most audiences. Think as a kid, understanding, like I look back now and understanding the wisdom that was deposited into me at that young of an age, it didn't quite click. There was a lot of, I was spoiled. I was very, very spoiled. My granny spoiled me. My mom's mom, my granny. Horribly. I tell you, horribly. And my dad, my stepdad, horribly. But I think that what that taught me is that there's a reward when you do well. And I was rewarded a lot for doing well, like in school and things like that. But that also gave me, with adults, knowing what my voice was at a very young age, because I could communicate to adults and they would give me feedback, which helped me grow. So now as an adult, I feel like I can talk to almost anyone. As long as there's no fear in that case. I think sometimes fear happens,
Yeah, it does. What have you ever experienced a moment, even knowing that you have a voice, have you ever experienced a moment recently in your adulthood that the fear just overcoming, you just didn't want to talk?
Yes, definitely.
Use your voice.
Yeah, actually, it just happened. We had a leadership conference, a leadership summit at work over the last few weeks. And there's things that I could have contributed and gave, but I wouldn't know if it was fear. I just chose not to speak up. So for the last day, I said, that person who gave that, who gave the presentation was a very well thought out presentation. Actually, the whole summit was very well thought out. It was very intentional. So I gave a piece that I felt like was very important to share. So I would say it happens. It happens often. But if I feel like I can't lead with logic, that's what I lead with logic so that it's understandable to everybody, then I don't contribute. So sometimes I silence myself because my mind doesn't process it quick enough for it to be meaningful to the audience that I'm talking to. So I definitely can say fear kicks in.
Good. Okay. It's a good question. I'm sure I have. I can't think of a particular time right at this moment, but I'm sure I have. You probably could tell me better than I can tell me as much as we talk. But, I can't think of anything right at the moment, though.
Sometimes I think your silence you give people a lot of passes with your silence.
I will admit that. That is true.
Maybe I need to be silent so I can give people some passes. But
no, because I think there's a little bit of passive aggression there, right? Because I may give you so many passes, but underneath I am boiling hot, like 38 hot with you. Like it's like that soda can experience. Like I'm ready to pop at any moment if you say or do another thing to me. But I'm trying to keep it under wraps. But
Mhm.
I can't keep doing that. That's not healthy for me.
Yeah.
And then it's allowing the other person to get away with the thing that they're doing because I haven't said anything and here I am mad and they gone on about their business.
Yeah. I agree.
so so that's
I,
I do good with that.
I think
But
it has
that's
to do
my
with the boundaries too that you create. Because I know
mm,
we talk separately about, teaching people how to treat us. All right.
mhm.
So I sometimes think that silence or passive aggression, it has its place, like everything has its place. But like, for instance, you can't be at church and let somebody have it. All right. You might gotta be like, all right. But walking out into the parking lot, or when you do get all of that, whatever you feel inside out, like, hey, did you know X, Y, and Z offended me? I've learned to start expressing it just because my different change of culture at work. I've never experienced people so blunt in a different
Mm,
type of way. So blunt in a very, very different way. So blunt that it's almost offensive because it's not productive to the conversation. It's not making it productive at all. So me and productivity is like, it's a waste of time. Like, if you're gonna pour your heart out and your emotions every time we get on a call, like, now it's a waste of time. I don't care anymore. Cry. you know? So I had to find different ways. And go back to how I would usually communicate if I managed people. And that is sticking straight to the facts. Hey, when you said this, it meant this. I took it as this. Did I receive it correctly? Hopefully, and causing them to think again. So that's what I would say, using your voice, understanding the environment that you're in, the opportunity that it presents when you're having conversations with people. I would also say the context.
That's good. I agree. I definitely agree.
Like, you were
You're
with
one of
my
those type of people, even now, even in regular conversation, like even if you're not at work or wherever you are, you will. Are you understanding this right? Or you'll check and challenge by asking this simple question. And it's like, okay, really, Taj? You really
I
make
have
somebody think about what they're saying or whatever the case may be. You do that even in regular conversation. I think you do it so much that it has just become a part of you that you don't even realize you do it.
that's
And it's a
good.
good thing. It's not anything bad at all. I think for the person that's on the other end of that conversation, it's an opportunity, right? For them to check and challenge their own thought processes and what they're saying as well. So you're very good at that. And that's one of the
Yeah.
things that productivity coaches do, right?
The part that I was just talking about, the conversation at my corporate job was, I basically told them that this conference was really good, and one thing that I hope everyone took away from it, and what I am taking away as a note for myself to keep reminding myself, is to lead with intent and to understand the impact. And not everybody will understand and follow what you're talking about. So you can't hit every person in the room, although we try to. It's not possible. But that's when you ask questions. Like, so one thing my team will always say, or people I work with, like, I didn't follow. I don't say I don't understand. I don't say I don't get it. I don't say none of that. I say I don't follow. I want them to lead me through the workflow of whatever they're trying to explain to me. And I talk to a lot of technical people all the time. I'm not technical at all, like as far as development and coding. So I'll quickly say, I don't follow. Can you say that again?
I don't follow.
So I
Change
think
your words. Change your words. Lead with
the thing is that I am not following,
you.
which is not that I understand. I am not following. If I followed, I probably can understand. So those are different things that so
you're making him be a good leader. Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm kind of challenging them to think, because this is how I want people to treat me. challenging them to think about the scenarios that they're given. So even when I'm presenting or I'm talking in a meeting about to anybody, I'll say XYZ, did you follow, or would you like for me to provide it in a different scenario? Because what people do, if you don't ask them those questions that I learned, they will walk away stuck. And then when it escalates and it's a fire drill, they will say, I didn't understand. All right, well, we done talked about this for 5 weeks. Every Monday at 2:00. I done sent out summary emails and updates. Can you please tell me what I could have did better to help you understand? They don't have nothing. So after every conversation, did you follow? Or even during the conversation, did you follow? And then a recap. I think that's a part of effective communication. Because sometimes if you're brainstorming and you're talking things out, okay, we talked about 50,000 things, right? But what are we walking away with? And I think a part of effective communication, losing your voice, is to make sure that whatever the person is walking away with is whatever you intended from the start, no matter if the conversation deviates. So that they understand, I mean, if it's a personal conversation, then it's, hey, you said this is how I took this. Did I take it correctly? Oh, that's not how it was meant. Okay, thank you. Because it really made me feel like X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that conversation is over. It's like, I'm so glad that we got to sit here and talk, because I was mad at you for a minute there, didn't want to talk to you because I thought you meant this and I meant that. Thank you for clarifying that. It's kind of like a recap. My part is that when I use my voice and others don't respond. How about that? Have you dealt with that?
Say that again.
When you use your voice, but people don't respond.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't know how to take it. You don't know what's going on in their head. But here's how I think about that. I did what I was supposed to do because you didn't say anything otherwise. Mm-hmm. I have to think about it that way. I did what I was supposed to do because you would have said something else otherwise. Or maybe you don't know. Maybe that individual does not know how to respond to what my response is.
That's true. And I've learned too that some people got to let it marinate. They really got to take it in, because a lot of people are like, the audacity. She came to me and tell me her problem. She got offended by what I said, and she told me. And that's more of a personal, but actually I've experienced it in business as well. Like, who are you to tell me what I just told you offended you? Or it's not, well, my favorite thing is that this conversation is no longer appropriate. That's my every button. And you are about to meet Tajanique.
Oh, not Tajanique.
Please try Jesus, not me.
Oh my gosh. I think that's actually not getting a response to my response, or even a reaction to my response, has been one of the reasons why I don't say anything. Because when I do say something, it either gets misconstrued, or, nobody says anything back, or you name it. I've been in that situation before. So it's also made me just, why should I say something? Why? What would be my purpose in saying something? So that has been another reason why I have felt like I don't have a voice, because in the past, when I have said something's been misconstrued, or nothing's been said at all, or you don't even listen. So what difference does it make? Why should I say something?
Yeah. I think it's important, though. Right now, where I'm at on using my voice, is understanding that once I've explained myself once, I don't need to do it again.
That's good.
In certain situations, I feel like, hey, I need to express X, Y, and Z. I want to make sure you understand. But if you walk away and you don't acknowledge it, you don't say anything about it, I'm doing a, hey, Do we need to follow up from our call? Do we need to talk again? Just to make sure it's the okay thing. Because if I'm doing something from a negative intent, it's very intentional. And it's very rare of me to do that. Like very, very, very rare. Because I'm just not a revengeful person. So it's very rare. So if I'm doing it, it would be very intentional and I wouldn't circle back. So I think for me, what's important is that if you are having that type of conversation and when you do circle back, I think it's okay to let it go. In one specific situation, I have made it okay to let it go. Like I've reached out, I've tried to talk to you, you've acted kind of funny to the side. I'm just going to go ahead and let that go. So I think that when you're using your voice, you have to understand even boundaries within that. You have to accept there's time to be quiet. There's time to speak up. There's time to defend yourself. And there's time to walk away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then unlearning. I think I would say too, unlearning the traditions that you have. I know one thing with Amir, he can question me. Everybody's like, what? He can question me. He can tell me I don't agree. Actually, he just checked me last week. I think it was last week. Check me. I'd say your main priority is school. So I don't understand why when it comes to this class, X, Y, and Z. He said, actually, my main priority is God, myself, my family, then school. And then he proceeded to break them down. I said, I had to come back as a parent and say, I love the structure of your priorities, but let me tell you, within you, yourself, that's a whole different dynamic, and school is a part of you. So figure out how to prioritize that, because when you get back home, I want to hear explanation as to why you're getting this in this grade. Because if I could if work wasn't a part of my priorities, then guess what?
We'd be on
like, all right.
That's funny. I love it.
Conversation of him being comfortable of telling me he disagrees with me, I take so much pride in that. Because I have a friend that is well up in age, and her mother still fears her mother to this day. She can't challenge her mother to this day. She can't inquire about certain things without it being a tough conversation.
I can understand.
I'm like, girl, you was wrong. Bye, Ma. You know?
But some people just are like that.
Yeah, some people are just different with different people. But I think that this new generation that we are raising up, we have to equip them for the tough conversations and the tough realities of people, understanding how to use their voice, understanding that confrontation doesn't have to be bad. Confrontation can be understanding. It can give you understanding. You can disagree with somebody respectfully and still love them.
Yep.
So that's how I choose to use my voice for positivity. So yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't. I just wholeheartedly 100% agree with you using your voice for positivity, knowing that you have a voice no matter what the situation is. I think it's important, even though it's not a verbal voice. And I'll just put this out there, not that we're voting right now, but voting is a form of using your voice. All the things that's going on in this world today, we feel like we don't have a say so, or we feel like there's not anything that we can do about it. You can advocate for, a certain group of people. That's using your voice. Your sister, when she was on last week, she mentioned how she would, want to start a group for women that have been in situations like she has. And that's her using her voice. And I'm so thankful that we are women that have voices and know that we have voices and are able to use them effectively. So that's just my little tidbit. I want to encourage you to use your voice.
That's good. And think about we're praying and we're talking to God, and well, maybe somebody hear his voice for real, like he talk. I'd probably be scared if that happened to me. But we're communicating, we're using our voice to God in different ways when we worship, when we pray, just different ways. So just think about how effective the tools are when we worship or when we speak to God and when we pray, how he gives us guidance. And most of the time it could be through a prayer, right? It could be through just different, through worship while you're praising and crying. He gives you all these ideas and these thoughts and things like that. So we can be just as effective as he is, but he's intentional, and we have to make sure that we're intentional.
That
in
word,
those
that part,
things.
that
So,
part, intentional. That word, intentional. Lead with
and
intent.
And I think if you feel in a conversation where you don't have a voice, meaning you don't feel like it's a safe space to communicate with a person who may be hostile or blunt or straight to the point, whatever you want to call it, then you message them, you text them. I know text can be interpreted the wrong way, but I would get to their soft side. Hey, can I schedule some time with you just to talk to you? And on the inside, be prepared for who they show you that they are, but also be optimistic that they're going to actually take what you say and apply it. That's what I've learned anyway, through difficult people, of just having an optimistic outlook, but also understanding that if it goes nowhere from here, at least I did my part.
Mm-hmm. It's a book that just came to mind as you were talking. I can't remember the name of it right now, but gosh, one of the things in it is it talks about don't take it personal. So you can't take it personal. I can't remember the book right now. Like, I'm about to look it up, but it's for, gosh, what is it? It's for something. But one of the 4 things is don't take it personal.
Yeah, I actually watched a TED Talk, and the guy played soccer. He was a soccer referee for Little League, and his whole thing was don't take it personal. When you said that, made me think of it. His whole thing was don't take it personal, because as a referee, he's getting cussed out, threatened. He's all these things, because us parents can be a little bit off the chain. He's getting all these things, but he still leaves and comes back every single week and with no grudge, because he doesn't take it personal. Mm-hmm. And it was his whole TED Talk, TED Talks are usually like 10, 15 minutes. But the whole perspective of what he was saying is that their reaction has to do a lot with them and none with him.
Don't take it personal.
The way that they communicate has everything to do with them, not with you. So if it was another person doing the same thing that you were doing, if that person is that nasty, guess what? They would give it to that person too. Mm-hmm. I think that fits for some scenarios. Mm-hmm. That fits for some scenarios.
Yeah. I'll find that book one day, y'all. I don't remember the name of it, but it is 4 things. And don't take it personal is one of them. And that's what came to mind when you were speaking.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap that thing up. This was a really quick random. I guess it's not quick. We're talking on 30 minutes, but a very random conversation that we're having. No structure, no planning at all for tonight. We just thought of a topic and this jumped on and had the conversation. So we appreciate you joining. If you're watching the replay, let us know in the comment section if you're enjoying this. I guess my light wanted to go out. If you are enjoying different topics like this, you have some ideas, please send it to us in a DM. We can definitely talk about it. We have Let's Pray Sis on Sunday at 7 every Sunday, where we pray for around 15 minutes, and we have a devotional to get us prepared for the beginning of the week. And then Tuesday, we have thank you. Someone said good combo. Thank you. Tuesday, we have another Go Talk Tuesday. We'll be featuring another entrepreneur, Ingenious Hands, Talisha Brown, who is a hairstylist and a creative being. I don't know, she's just creative. and everything. So we'll get to interview her, understand how we can support her and how she's serving her community and slaying her goals. And then we'll be back with another Think About It Thursday. So send us some topics so we can talk about some things, have a conversation about it. Gail, you got any closing remarks?
Nope. I'll see y'all on Sunday. Let's pray.
See you on Sunday. Invite somebody, share it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a